My name is Gerardo Zaragoza. I am currently a junior studying marketing. I grew up on the west side of Washington, Tacoma area more specifically. I transferred here to WSU last fall. It's a full academic year. I'm graduating 2021, hopefully. So yeah, it's a little bit about me. Initially, I think it's stirred by good intention. I think that because I think that the minority is almost becoming the majority. I mean, a lot of people, a lot of Hispanic. I mean, look at me. I'm here. I'm at the university where I'm first gen, so it's almost I'm learning everything firsthand, and it's almost coming to grips with the terms that like we are here, we are prevalent within the community, whether it be WSU or anywhere else. I think that we're growing and learning, and I think that as far as like media and their portrayal of who we are as a group, I think sometimes maybe can be skewed, maybe for lack of knowledge or just interpretation of what certain maybe cultural ideas or cultural backgrounds can really what they really mean. So that's my interpretation of it.
And then versus now and growing up, does a lack of a Latino character ever take a toll on like self-image, like as a kid or like right now?
Yeah, big time. I grew up in a predominantly white community. I genuinely think that out of my graduating class, there was maybe 10 Latinos like myself, and out of those 10, maybe 5 did graduate for whatever reason that may be. And almost 2, it's kind of disheartening. And now that I'm realizing it, now that I'm in college, it's I was almost revoked of my culture almost, or who I know myself to be, or where I came from. And I don't necessarily blame the people who maybe I've come in contact with, because by all means it's not their fault that I was preconditioned to be in that environment. More so, maybe I could have done more to learn more about my culture, or maybe sought out people who were of the same ethnicity as me. But also too, it was just, it's hard when your community is almost 99% white. So I mean, it's for me, it was just tough, I think, in that respect. And now it's like I'm almost the outlier within my own culture, or sometimes maybe I'm not brown enough to be with the brown people. So that's my take on it, and it's maybe a little frustrating, but
like for example, like TV shows that don't portray like Latino characters, or like when they do, it's like negative stereotypes only.
I think honestly it just depends on the narrative of what is being portrayed. Maybe whether it be satirical, obviously I think it's meant to almost make fun of someone who's of that culture, just because it's maybe lack of knowledge, or simply it's purposeful. And maybe at times it was, as when you talk about like in the past when it was almost okay to say some things now that are frowned upon. I guess maybe for the Latino community, it was more so like maybe disheartening, but we didn't have a loud enough voice to voice our opinion on certain topics back then when maybe media has portrayed it that way. And I guess maybe now media, I think, is almost accepting the idea of having people from anywhere stepping up into bigger roles and things of that sort. So So that's the way I see it. I don't think I mean it's also case to case basis. In my opinion, I haven't personally seen like anything like, I guess maybe the biggest, like the most prime example, I guess it's a little childish, but it's the movie Coco. I think that was a beautifully portrayed movie. That, I mean, whether they meant it to approach that like main demographic of Latino community, I don't see anything wrong with it.
And then, how do you feel like Latin culture changes with technology, if at all?
I just think we become more interconnected. We're able to share more ideas quickly. Simply put.
Well, my name's Tatiana. Get that first. This is my third year at WSU. I've been involved in MedChild 3 years, and then I'm also in a sorority, Sigma Lambda Gamma. And then also, I've helped in the Cash Conference every single year I've been here. This is my second year as a director, and I've also helped with various events throughout campus. I feel like it does. Like, even if it's not a movie, like, let's say someone, like a city someone has never, like, put on, like, let's say there's a little city out there somewhere, and someone manages to go and, like, show the ways they do things, show their ways, essentially, like, and then they, like, show the public, and then the public can see that, like, honestly, like, some of these people are not living in the best conditions, while, like, 90% of the world is rich, and it just makes no sense.
Right. And how do you feel like the introduction of technology has affected the ties you have with your culture?
Well, for me, it was kind of weird because up until, like, all of kindergarten, and I mean all of elementary school, like, we didn't have internet at my house, so, like, we never saw any of that. Like, my parents didn't have, like, a smartphone, so, like, social media, like, none of that. Like, I did not know what happened there. So then after, like, basically when I discovered, like, like, media and everything, like, it all came at once. So, like, I don't know, like, how much of a difference there has been from, like, the beginning to now, but, like, now I feel like there's a lot more, and it's nice. But sometimes sometimes some people, like, some companies will, like, betray their own people. Like, can I call it, like, a specific person? Me Too. They make money off other people's tweets and don't give them any credit at all. Same thing with BuzzFeed, but that's a different problem. But basically, like, you're supposed to be helping these people because, like, it's your gente, right? Like, this is who you, like, essentially do it all for, And then you just don't give them any credit. Credit is the least you can do. You should be paying these people for their content, but you're not. You're just, like, you're putting it in your own little purple frame and then putting your logo in the back, and you're just, like, with some caption on Instagram, and you get money. And, like, that's not fair. I don't know. Like, I feel like I do see a lot more people, like, that are, like, big on social media. There are, like, starting to be more people of color, like, not even if they're just brown, and, like, which it's nice because, like, it makes me feel like, like, people are being heard, like, either if it's, like, something funny or, like, something serious, like, they have a big platform, so, like, they're like, getting us on the map. It's like, if something happens, like, somewhere and, like, someone needs to raise money super quick, like, they have a platform they can use to help people in their community. I don't know, it kind of depends because from my family in Mexico, the way they get technology is, like, if we bring them to them, like, for Christmas or something. But, like, even then, like, it's not like we're not bringing them, like, MacBooks or something. We're bringing them, like, like, tablets, like cheap ones that, like, we can afford, but, like, for them it means a lot. Like, they can do so much more, like, whether in school or, like, how their life is ran, and, like, it could help them out. But I don't know how everyone else, like, who doesn't do that gets technology, because I feel like at least in Mexico, like I don't know like how advanced they are. I feel like maybe different things are passed on. Like, not everything is done the way it was before. As like technology gets more advanced, some things can become easier, which is nice. But at the same time, I can see people saying, "Oh, like you're losing your roots, your touch. Like you're just doing everything to make it easier. Whatever comes out, you just use it, and like you don't even care about your roots." But for me, like it's not the way you do it. Like as long as you feel it, I don't know, feel it, but like if it still means as much as it did before to you, and you're just like doing it quicker, it's the same. Like you're just saving time. It's like, just, yeah. Media has helped a lot more people educate themselves, and like it's like within the Latinx community, there's been a lot of advancements, like from generations, like the generations right now, like I guess my generation, like people are having kids, they're teaching their kids differently. They're not teaching them to say, like in the Latinx community, there's a lot of anti-blackness. Like they're not passing that back down, which is good, and other things. I don't know what I said half of the time, but I know what I said was right. So.